schools are failing and Slotkin's pushing this?
Congresswoman Slotkin is focused on letting men into girls' sports. I'm focused on teaching kids how to read. I'm Mike Rogers, and I approve this message. I'm a dad. I'll keep fighting to fix our schools for all our kids.
Join Mike's team. Give today.
Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, there's a lot at stake in this election, including who will control the Michigan House. We take a look at what districts are being looked at carefully. Plus, Donald Trump and his running mate are in Michigan today following controversial comments the former president made about Liz Cheney yesterday. And high school students are getting a sneak peek at what Bay College has to offer following graduation. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
We'll have some chilly weather here for the Marquette region and the Upper Peninsula. Fortunately, a lot less snow as we begin November here. Looking at temperatures dropping down close to the freezing mark, and some of you may even be in the 20s. And the winds thankfully dying down. Temperatures across the area will be, again, as we said, upper 20s to lower 30s. Good frost around, particularly near the Wisconsin border. Rest of the weekend forecast is coming up later in the show. Kevin?
Thanks, Tom. In the election, all 110 members of Michigan's House of Representatives are up for re-election. Many incumbents around the state are expected to keep their seats, but a handful of races could determine who holds the majority moving forward. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more on which House districts the parties are keeping an eye on this Tuesday.
Democrats currently hold control of Michigan's House of Representatives by just 2 seats. The party has been paying special attention to a handful of districts this fall to keep that majority.
The chamber's likely to be quite close in a battle for control.
A Democrat has held Marquette's seat since 1989. Jen Hill is running for re-election against Republican Carl Bonak, who has gained a lot of support in more rural parts of the district.
These two competitive districts in the upper part of Michigan are the only two blue districts, north of Saginaw, basically.
Downstate, many of the races in the Metro Detroit area are also expected to be close.
Detroit is pretty solid blue. You go out, you get a little bit more potential for red districts. And so that means that the competitive seats are really kind of in northern Macomb and Oakland County or in the downriver area.
Because either party is expected to hold a majority by only a couple of seats, the outcomes in just 4 or 5 of the 110 districts will determine control. As the first election since Democrats took over the legislature and the governor's offices, this will be voters' first chance to weigh in on how they feel about the past 2 years of Democrat control.
It's also the first opportunity for voters to sit in judgment of the new Democratic trifecta in Lansing.
There are just 4 days left until Election Day. You still have the chance to participate early in person through Sunday, and of course on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Former President Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance are in Michigan today, Trump near Detroit and Vance in Portage. Trump visited the Great Commoner restaurant in Dearborn. This makes him the first major party candidate to visit the Arab American city this cycle. When a reporter asked the former president if it was necessary to make comments about the former Representative Liz Cheney when he said she should try facing a firing squad, Mr. Trump responded saying, "Yeah, sure, she's like a war hawk. She kills people. She wanted to, even in my administration, she was pushing and we go to war with everybody. And I said, if you ever give her a rifle and let her do the fighting, if you ever do that, she wouldn't be doing too well." We'll have additional coverage of the Republican candidate's visit tonight at 11. Today in Escanaba, more than 150 high school seniors from across the UP visited Bay College for Bay is the Way Day. Attendees toured the campus, heard from current students about life at Bay College, and spoke with faculty members in their top 3 programs of study. They also learned about tutoring services, financial aid, and housing opportunities, and other resources Bay offers to help students fit college into their lives.
Maybe you're graduating high school, maybe you're in your 60s, maybe you're a mom and you didn't get to finish school and you want to come back to school. We want to at least be a place where people can get their start so that they can be successful in whatever that looks like for them.
Bay is an open admissions college, so prospective students can apply at any time. However, they're encouraged to apply as soon as possible to get a head start on the process. Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after the break. Plus, we're live from Washington, D.C. as Brennan Scanlon examines the race for Michigan Senate. We'll be back after this.
Tonight, CBS Fridays are heating up.
It's a new beginning.
And I want to be there.
Release the hostages!
A new SWAT.
Call my team and tell them to buckle up.
A new Fire Country.
I need to fight fire.
And the final season of Blue Bloods.
That cross is a lie.
3 epic shows. 1 unbeatable night of heroes.
Enjoy the ride.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
It all begins CBS tonight starting at 8/7 Central and streaming on Paramount Plus.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. 3, 2. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget, we're
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She supported his disastrous economic agenda, higher taxes on the middle class. Kamala backed his open border policies, and their weakness invited wars. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower, and the border secure. But Kamala wants to double down on failure. Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
the Shunk's factory authorized custom order sale. With delivery times getting back to normal, it's a great time to have it your way, get a sale price, and get 12 months to pay. Choose from hundreds of sofas, love seats, chairs, and sectionals. All the latest styles are here. Over 3,000 fabrics and leathers to pick from. Sectionals, 50 different styles to choose from, and hundreds of configurations to fit your room. It's Shunk's factory authorized custom order sale. Shop Shunk Furniture at Marquette today.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
A cold night for Marquette and the Upper Peninsula here, as many of you will be dropping into the frosty area, certainly. And those of you who had some snow yesterday, well, it could be a nice little coating on top of that. Watch maybe a few slick roads out where the snow fell pretty heavily in areas, particularly out toward Ironwood. We're looking at drier weather for Saturday, the first Saturday in November. Looking good here, but we may have to dodge some raindrops as we head on toward Sunday. In the meantime, Futurecast, it's showing some fairly decent weather into Saturday morning, some high clouds here and there. Futurecast wants to squeeze out a few drops here Saturday. Not seeing it. I think will be dry. And actually during the afternoon especially, it looks like we'll have a decent amount of sunshine breaking out. That along with the light south wind should help warm up those temperatures. Now Saturday night, clouds come in. Sunday morning, showers start to knock on the door of the Wisconsin-Michigan border there. That will eventually overspread the region as we head into Sunday afternoon with a good chance of showers. So winds, thankfully on the light side here, in fact near calm. That should allow for a good hard freeze for tonight. Then the southerly winds tomorrow, not especially strong, but good enough to at least boost our temperatures out of the 40s and into the 50s. And things, again, not too windy even into late Saturday night and Sunday. And it is that time of year, okay, where on Saturday night, don't do it tonight, do it Saturday night when you go to sleep. Make sure you turn your clock. You don't have to wait till 2 a.m. Just to make sure you set them back before you go to sleep here. And don't forget, always a good idea during we go back to standard time, test your smoke alarms, enjoy your extra hour of sleep, and now the sun will be setting at 5:30 instead of 6:30. In the meantime, temperatures upper 20s to lower 30s with some generally partly cloudy skies, some high clouds for tonight across the UP, and then into tomorrow. Not a bad day. We'll just call it partly sunny. Temperatures still above normal with lower 50s for the most part, lower to perhaps mid 50s. In the meantime, checking out the rest of the 7-day outlook. We're looking at, again, make sure you set the clocks back when you go to bed Saturday night. We'll see some rain showers develop during the day Sunday afternoon. Then looks fairly wet for the beginning of next week, though could get up to 60 on Monday, cooler hit on Tuesday, but none of that cold air and no snow expected into the end of next week.
Thanks, Tom. With just 4 days until the election, it's full steam ahead for candidates up and down the ballot. WZMQ 19 News Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon is live on Capitol Hill to discuss campaign messaging for Michigan Senate candidates during the final push. Brendan, hey.
Hey there, Kevin. Good evening. Yeah, well, the presidential race is certainly receiving a lot of attention, but races in that U.S. House and the U.S. Senate are just as consequential. In 4 days, control for both chambers will be up for grabs. Now, political parties, action committees, and the candidates themselves are doing everything they can to win on Tuesday. During the final push in the race for Michigan's open Senate seat, Republican Mike Rogers and Democrat Alyssa Slotkin are working to shore up support from their base and beyond.
As we get into the final stretch of the campaign, both candidates are going to try to do two things. They're going to try to energize their voters, and they're going to try to reach out to what few voters who are out there that are left.
Dr. Todd Belt says both Slotkin and Rogers are following data and polling to increase their odds on November 5th.
And they have campaign data to show who's voted and who hasn't. And they have, of course, good polling data that tell them who's still undecided and what those important issues are.
In some cases, following the data could mean a different policy stance or change in attitude. For example, immediately following the January 6th Capitol insurrection, former Republican Congressman Mike Rogers had this to say in an interview with CNN.
Clearly, his actions led to that, what we would, there's no great way to describe what happened yesterday, sedition.
Since then, Rogers and the former president have developed a close alliance as the two look for success in the swing state next Tuesday.
Like many Republicans, even the former majority leader and minority leader in the House were very critical of Donald Trump, but then they realized that that is the energy and the base in their party.
Congresswoman Slotkin has been hit hard by her opponent on the Biden administration's so-called EV mandate after she voted to uphold it in September. Belt says Slotkin is now trying to distance herself from the policy.
This is obviously something that Slotkin thinks this is a liability for her. She doesn't want to be too closely aligned with Biden and the environmental issues because that can be radicalized by the other side.
And Kevin, so far over 700,000 in-person ballots have been cast during Michigan's early voting period, and just under 2 million absentee ballots have already been returned. Reporting live on Capitol Hill for WZMQ 19 News, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Kevin, back to you.
Brendan, thank you very much. Yesterday, we showed you part of our interview with incumbent 109th State House District candidate Jen Hill. Coming up after the break, we'll do the same with her Republican opponent, Carl Bonak. That conversation's coming up in 2 minutes.
I was having a miscarriage, and the bleeding wouldn't stop. Doctors made a split-second decision to perform an abortion. It saved my life and allowed me to have another baby. Carl Bonak wants politicians to make those decisions for women. He'd outlaw nearly all abortions. I work for Jen Hill because we need leaders who trust women and doctors. And I won't let extreme politicians like Carl Bonak leave my daughter with fewer rights than I've had.
Marquette is celebrating its 175th birthday, and things have changed. From a major shipping port that helped win the Civil War, transformed into today's beautiful scenery and treasured quality of life. Join Jim Koski for Marquette at 175. Discover history when Native peoples lived here 12,000 years ago. Marquette at 175. A TV19 special brought to you by NMU. Sunday, November 10th at 11 p.m. Only on WZMQ TV19.
This is Bigfoot. He's been seen in upper and northern Michigan for years. This is Congressman Jack Bergman, and we hardly ever see him. He's an election denier who wants to ban abortion, even when the mother's life is at risk. I'm Callie Barr, and I'm running to replace Jack Bergman. I'm for term limits, protecting women's health care, and bringing our voice to Washington. I approve this message because you deserve better than a congressman who shows up less than him.
Melissa Slotkin voted against Trump on almost everything, then voted for 100% of Biden and Harris's disastrous agenda. Their failed economic policies that drove prices higher, Slotkin voted for it. Their middle-class tax hikes, Slotkin voted for that too. Their EV mandates that killed Michigan jobs, Slotkin voted for them all. Nothing will change with Slotkin in Washington. President Trump and Mike Rogers will fix this mess.
I'm Mike Rogers, and I approve this message.
Join Mike's team. Give today.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. Tonight on Insights, we bring you our second interview for the 109th State House race. Last night, we aired our interview with incumbent Democrat Jen Hill. Tonight, you'll hear from Republican challenger Carl Bonack. Like last night, this interview is edited for time, but you can view the full unedited version right now at WZMQ19.com.
I decided to hop in and throw my hat in the ring because, well, I think the state needs a change in direction. That's why I'm running. There's a number of things. Of course, energy costs are something that's on everybody's mind, and just the cost of everything. But energy is really something, and my opponent and Lansing has made decisions that will adversely affect our quality of life, I believe, because of the energy situation. We have our Attorney General who is actually trying to close down Line 5, and we need Line 5 here in the Upper Peninsula. For instance, just at Rapid River alone, there is 32 million gallons of propane produced each year that goes to over 20,000 homes and businesses in the Upper Peninsula. So we need Line 5. Then there was energy legislation that was passed just about a year ago, and my opponent was the deciding vote on legislation that mandates that we power our grid with green renewable energy. And that means mainly wind and solar here in the Upper Peninsula. And that means that we'd be relying on intermittent weather-dependent energy to power our grid. Electricity is to modern civilization what blood is to the human body. We need a constant flow, and we can't guarantee that with renewables. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to jump in and put my hat in the ring.
Sure, and that bill you're talking about includes the goal of reaching 100% renewable energy by 2040, correct? So do you think that is a realistic goal, you think?
I do not think that is a realistic goal. And here's another thing. In that legislation, townships are the foundation of our constitutional republic. And that legislation cut out the legs from the townships. In other words, they will have no decision as to where these large wind and solar projects will go. It'll be all decided by unelected bureaucrats in Lansing. And that's another reason why I think that we need a change.
Sure. Let's move on to the housing situation as well. As we all know, it's tough to find places to live. So how do we go about making more places available and making it affordable as well?
Right. We need more housing, and I know that there's some projects in the works that hopefully will help to alleviate that situation. We need to make sure that, at least on our end, we don't have a lot of mandates. For instance, one of the things that Lansing has proposed, and as far as I know, it's not legislation yet, has proposed is that all new construction has to have sprinkler systems inside their homes, even residential areas. And what that would do is just raise the cost astronomically. So that's one thing that we can do. We can kind of cut down on regulations. As far as the cost of building materials, that's another story. And but we need to at least get away from some of the regulations on Lansing's end. And if I'm elected, I will work with my fellow legislators to make sure that that's the case.
Sure, and speaking with Jen Hill yesterday, we were talking about proposals that would give, tax credits for first-time home buyers. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that's all well and good. However, what that will tend to do is just raise the cost of homes to begin with. And then we're right back in the same spot we were. So I would be cautious with a proposal like that.
Again, you can watch that full unedited interview right now at WZMQ19.com. Monday on Insights, we talk with the Marquette DDA about festive events and holidays happening as the year comes to an end soon. Mike Ludlam has your look at sports. When we come back, we hear from the players as a huge matchup between the Packers and the Lions is set for this Sunday. But first, here's your Upers United Volunteer Opportunity of the Day. The Caregiver Incentive Project is seeking people who have worked in home and community-based settings to serve as mentors to new direct care workers. Volunteers should be at least 18 years old. To sign up to be a volunteer or check out other opportunities, just head to upersunited.com.
I want back in the fire line as fast as possible. Out here's a free man.
Got your shot at the Edgewater training program.
You don't get to be a solo operator anymore.
I'm ready to claim my legacy as a firefighter.
Ooh, cocky. Cocky's good.
We started this together, so how do we end it?
Fire Country is all new. CBS tonight, 9/8 Central, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Next January, one of us will be president. If it's Donald Trump, he will wake up every day and stew over his enemies list. That will help no one. If I am president, I'll be focused on my to-do list for you, the American people. I'll cut costs by cracking down on corporate price gouging, make housing more affordable, lower taxes for middle-class families, and protect Social Security. I will focus on getting things done. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message. Let's get to work.
These hands care for the herd. My hands need to be tough and sensitive. When my hands are dry and cracking, it's hard to do my job. That's why I use O'Keeffe's.
It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief.
And if it works for these hands, it'll work for yours.
Also try our new hand and body lotion.
With Reynolds, holiday meals become so easy to prep, cook, and clean. You can feel like the chef of your kitchen. Make it easy. Make it with Reynolds.
Another thrilling week to play football. The NFL on CBS. Catch all of the action this week on WZMQ 19. This Sunday, the Denver Broncos travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens at 1. See you this Sunday for the NFL on WZMQ 19.
The world's longest running prank show is back. Just for laughs, gags.
Good evening, everyone. The Michigan Tech football team hits the road to Illinois tomorrow, facing the newest member of the GLIAC, Roosevelt. The Huskies are 5-3 overall and 2-2 in the conference. The Lakers won their first game 2 weeks ago at Northern Michigan. Tech head coach Dan Metlack says nothing is easy in the GLIAC.
Saw him a little bit overlapping with Northern last week. Talented at the skill spots. You know, and anytime you go on the road in this league, obviously you got to be on your stuff to make sure you take care of your business. But we'll have our hands full. We know that. We got to get some guys back from injury. We'll get everybody back and head down the road and see if we can get 2 in a row.
Kickoff from Morris Stadium in Chicago is set for 2 o'clock Eastern Time. NMU hosts Ferris State tomorrow with a 1 o'clock kickoff. Round 1 of the Detroit Lions-Green Bay Packers rivalry is Sunday at Lambeau Field. Detroit is 6-1. Green Bay is 6-2. First, we'll hear from NFC Defensive Player of the Month, Xavier McKinney of the Packers.
They got what they got, and we have what we have. And, you know, we trust in, you know, what we do here, and we trust in our scheme, and we believe in our scheme. So I don't really think it's about anything that they do. It's about what we do and, you know, what we plan to do on Sunday. So we just got to keep chopping down and keep executing and keep, you know, just fine-tuning the small things, the small details, and Sunday it'll show up.
They're a stingy group. Like you said, they lead the league in takeaways, get a bunch of sacks. They're a good team. Anytime you're playing at Lambeau, it's always going to be a hostile environment, a division game. You know, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I'm excited for it. I hope it doesn't rain, but we'll see.
Lions quarterback Jared Goff is the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Kickoff Sunday is set for 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 Central Time on another channel. And in case you missed it last night, the New York Jets pull off the upset defeating Houston. And this catch by Garrett Wilson of the Jets is downright incredible. It may not be the best catch of all time, but I tell you what, it might be in the top 10. He caught 2 touchdown passes from Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers threw another one as well. And the Jets back in the win column, defeating Houston 21-13. Of course, NMU and Michigan Tech playing hockey tonight. We'll have that for you at WZMQ at 11 o'clock. And don't forget on Sunday, Lisa Jamila Mackey will have her basketball uniform retired at NMU when the Wildcats host Wisconsin-Stevens Point in a preseason game starting at 4 o'clock. Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. Lori has an exciting update from her garden tonight. Let's check in with the Upper Goddess.
Hi, we're back in the coop, Dean.
Yep.
So Dean came in the house Wednesday and said, do you want to see something crazy? And I'm like, oh my God, what happened? That's what happened. Our little girls are starting to
Their first eggs.
lay eggs. So we just wanted to update you. They were 6 months old on October 24th. So I knew, Cartwright was getting a little frisky, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, is that a sign or whatever? And we still have our stuff here. Now remember, we are feeding them egg layer pebbles.
Pellets.
Oh, pellets. And then because the first we got crumbles, and it was like dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't like that. And you have these other things. We got everything hanging because they just kick straw around. I mean, no matter where you go, they're like kicking stuff around. And then I've been saving all my eggshells because they say you can feed this to your chickens, right? And I just put it in my food processor. So they're eating that. And also Dean noticed that the hens were in there. And when we had chickens before, hey, Dean, you gave them a little privacy.
Right.
So they kind of like it, hey?
Yeah, they do.
So, yeah, everything's coming together. Cartwright's really pretty. His, what is that called?
Comb.
Comb is like so red, hey?
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty boy. And all the chickens are behind you there. Show Cartwright there, Dean.
All right.
Cartwright. He kind of knows his name.
Yeah.
So it's really been fun, hey?
Yeah,
and we just want our chickens to, also we train the dogs not to go after them, which is amazing. We just want them to be happy, hey?
Yep.
They really like you.
Yep.
So keep smiling.
Now don't go away. Tom DeVecchio has a final look at weather for you when we come back.
Is your child suffering from ADHD, anxiety, depression, or the inability to focus? NeuroFit Marquette offers personalized neurofeedback training to address these challenges. Our tailored approach aims for optimal brain function and wellness. Call 906-235-0561 to start your journey to better sleep and improve mood today.
Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024, the Audion Atom 2 series offers superior sound quality and functionality for a fraction of the price. For just $189 a pair, the Atom 2 features 4 different hearing modes for all types of hearing loss. It packs crystal clear sound, a nearly invisible design, and is even rechargeable.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids. They're so comfortable, I forget I'm wearing them. And the sound is amazing.
The Atom Pro 2 is our smallest hearing aid yet, featuring advanced background noise cancellation and is the world's first hearing aid with built-in UV cleaning that kills 99% of bacteria.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed without seeing a doctor or having a hearing test.
Join over 500,000 happy customers today and get the hearing you deserve.
Call 1-800-455-9314 or go to audionhearing.com to get your pair of Audion hearing aids starting at just $189.
The UP is a great place, but sometimes the weather changes quickly. You'll always be ready with the WZMQ 19 mobile app. Available free right now from the App Store. Your local weather power tool from WZMQ 19.
Are you or a loved one feeling tired, irritable, or struggling with sleep? NeuroFit Marquette can help. Our personalized neurofeedback programs target anxiety, depression, and ADHD, aiming for the best outcomes. Call 906-235-0561 today and take the first step toward optimal brain function and wellness with NeuroFit Marquette.
And checking out the weather for tonight, fair skies for Marquette. Nice light winds too. Temperatures dropping close to the freezing mark, but we'll have a lot of 20s for those of you away from the lake shores. And that'll lead to some fairly decent weather though for Saturday, getting into the low 50s. We'll have partly sunny skies, and then a little rain comes in for Sunday as we head back to standard time. When you go to bed Saturday night, make sure you set your clocks back an hour. Things look pretty wet into the beginning of next week. Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, Tom, and that's all we have for now, folks. We'll see you later tonight.